advances to the Final Four.
Shout out Chillinois Basketball Podcast.
Shout out to Chillinois Podcast.
Shout out Chillinois Podcast.
Shout out Chillinois Basketball, man.
Welcome back to the Chillinois Basketball Podcast. What a week it was for Illinois men's basketball in terms of hashtag the retention. And Noah was on Sonny Verma's Locked on Illini, or excuse me, Talk Illini podcast earlier this week on Thursday, where he
It's locked on Illini.
Oh,
You're
is it
right.
Locked on Illini? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was one of the two. Sonny does both of those, and he's a awesome guy to watch if you're into Illinois basketball content or Illinois football content as well. But Noah did have the opportunity to join him as a guest. They covered all of that on Thursday, but there has been more news since Thursday, so we're going to cover even more of that today. We'll start chronologically because I think that's the easiest way to go about this, but just off the bat, the Illini have retained David Murkovich, they've retained Jake Davis, they've retained both the Ivisic twins, and they've retained Andrei Stoyakovich. So already a team that's looking like they'll be at least top five in the preseason rankings for next season, potentially top three, and some could even argue number one. This is a team that went to the Final Four, and they're retaining pretty much every key player on their team besides Kylan Boswell and Keaton Wagler, Ben Humrickhouse as well, but it's just a team that's reloading. What's the old adage here, Noah, that Brad Underwood doesn't he doesn't it's always a quote about coaches, and maybe somebody in the comments can help me out later because I don't know if I'm going to figure out, but it's something about we don't rebuild, we reload. I think that's what the euphemism is there, and that's what I'm going for with Brad Underwood because he doesn't rebuild, he reloads. And that's absolutely the case. But let's start it off with talking about our guy David Murkovich, David Murkovich, the first one to announce that he was going to be part of the hashtag retention. And he announced in quite the comical way on Wednesday afternoon. Announced earlier in that day that he was going to have a live stream, which he was doing earlier in the week with both Andrei Stoyakovich and Zvonimir Ivisic. But something seemed different because the Illini men's basketball program also reposted this story where he said he was going to be live on Twitch. It didn't feel like it was just a David Murkovich, I'm going to play some NBA 2K on Twitch and everybody should watch me. It felt like something big was coming, and something big absolutely did come after about 25 minutes of him just answering comments in his live stream. And then I believe he played a little bit of Fortnite after he announced that he was coming back to Illinois. But it was an immense troll job. One of the likes that I haven't seen since probably Cliff Alexander's hat troll job of Illinois in like 2012 or 2013. He got to the point where he was saying like, "Oh, it's been a ride. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful for all my coaches. I'm so grateful for all my trainers. I'm so grateful for all my team managers. But some good things have to come to an end." And with that, I'd like to announce that for next year, and then the stream cut off. And then it was just a little butterfly flying around for about a minute. And I got to admit, I was driving to class when this was going on. So probably not the best look for me to be live on Twitch with my phone in one hand and driving the car in the other. To my dad, if you're hearing that, no, I wasn't driving and watching Twitch. But nonetheless, I had my phone out and I was like, did my stream just die? Like, what's going on? And then I refresh it, see a bunch of ILL comments, and was like, what the hell is going on? Like, something must have happened. Refresh it again, see the letter. I forget exactly what the letter said, but something to like, in regards to David Murkovich's future with the Illini men's basketball program, he said, "I'm back," and then just number zero. Noah, I'll let you take it away from here. That was one of the cooler, not even commitments, but just like saying it was like Michael Jordan-esque almost to say I'm back like that. And Andre did a very similar thing yesterday, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Thoughts on David Mirkovich? I mean, he could go full-time streamer if he wanted to, if this basketball thing doesn't work out, because that was pretty entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, that was really cool. I remember I tuned in at the beginning of it, but I was at work at the time, so I couldn't really focus too much on it. And he had not the whole team there, but there was a few guys there, some of the coaches and trainers, and I think Z might have been there. I can't remember exactly, but they're all wearing like Santa Claus hats or something. They
No,
were all
it was the team managers, like like the guys who play on the
I
practice
thought
team.
I recognized a couple of them, but I thought
Oh, I
maybe
mean
Z was.
they're within the program, and like Big Gucci Sosa does put them in memes all the time. So they have recognizable faces, and they're definitely around the program all the time. But it was just so funny because they're all sitting behind him, and then he said at the beginning of the stream he had sold the hat too, the cowboy hat, and that cowboy hat evidently was not sold.
I sold it. Why would you? Why would he have sold it? Obviously, he was trolling.
I mean, he said he bought it for $34 off Amazon. I'm sure that would go for a hell of a lot more money now after it's been to Houston in the Final Four. Uh, but yeah, just thoughts on what this means for the program. Obviously, David Murkovich was a guy that I think both of us thought that he was the main focal point for if we're going to get anybody back and nobody else, it's got to be David Murkovich. I know we've said multiple times, give him whatever he wants, give him a blank check. I don't know how much he got in NIL. We're going to find out that later. Um, I can't imagine though, after his comments about like he said it was either the NBA or Illinois. He never had a doubt in his mind. Even after the whole stream got released and in videos later that day and interviews later that day, he said he knew like a week ago, a week before his announcement, he was coming back to Illinois, and people around the program knew that. I did send you that video of Mike LaTulip talking on Jeremy Werner's like Illini Inquirer podcast, and they were saying something about the retention, and he had like a very wry smile, and that was like a week before. So I was like, I think he probably had heard something at that point, but I mean, it all came to fruition, and glad that Murkovich is back. But what does that mean for this program? Because he was obviously the main guy that you wanted to retain. He's he said it himself. He's in for a dangerous summer.
Yeah, I was really, really excited. Obviously, that was the number one guy we talked about it. That's the one we need. And that was the guy that I was least worried about in terms of will he come back? Obviously, I think he could have gotten more money somewhere else, but he just seems like such a loyal guy. He definitely doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would leave somewhere that, really is giving him every opportunity to thrive. I mean, Illinois is, since the beginning of the season, they put Murkovich in a position to excel, and he's taken advantage of it, and he's really done well. And I, give credit to him, but yeah, I was not too worried that he would go anywhere else, and doesn't surprise me at all that he was trolling and Z trolled a little bit. They are all kind of trolling, but no, I mean, huge for the program. He should be preseason All Big Ten first team. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being first team All Big Ten at the end of the year. I mean, he's just got so much to his game, so versatile. I was rewatching the Iowa highlights today, and yesterday I was rewatching the Houston highlights, and I mean, he was a constant in that whole tournament. Just Merck was having solid games, and even when he's not scoring a whole bunch, just his presence, his passing ability, his work inside the post. I mean, yeah, he can't dunk it, but he did say, he's going to work on that. I think somebody interviewed him. I can't remember. They asked him, "What's something you're going to work on?" He's like, "Dunking, dunking."
That was number
So.
one on the list.
Yeah, and that's what he really needs to work on. Could you imagine if he just becomes an ultimate like just Morez Johnson, just take the hoop down? But no,
We'll have to see what Adam Fletcher can do in that weight room. I'm not sure adding 6 inches to somebody's vertical is something you can do in one summer, but
if
still,
anyone can do it, it's Fletcher. But
yeah.
we Illinois got to take advantage of Merck while we got him because I don't think he's going to be around another year. I think this will probably be his last year in college, and he'll be off to the NBA.
And he certainly put himself on national radars with that Final Four run, just being like the charismatic guy that he is. It's funny with Merck. I don't even know if he tries to be funny. Sometimes it just seems kind of like you know how Borat he wasn't necessarily like intentionally funny. He was just European from a country that nobody had ever really been to
Well,
before. Like I don't I'm not saying
Borat
David
is a
Beckham.
character, though. I
No,
mean,
I understand. I understand, but it wasn't like Borat was cracking the funniest
he's like
joke.
SpongeBob. He's kind of like SpongeBob in that
Okay.
regard.
All right. Well, David Murkovich is SpongeBob to you, to the Illinois men's basketball program media. He's sexy Squidward or fancy Squidward or whatever it was. They
No,
didn't.
okay, that's the thing. He looks like handsome Squidward, but he kind of acts like Patrick, if I'm not mistaken.
I could see
Give me
that.
Patrick vibes.
I could see that if we're comparing him to SpongeBob characters. Um, m- let's end the David Murkovich conversation with thing you're most excited. to see David Murkovich year two. What are you most excited for with him? For me, it's the endless amount of interview quotes we're going to get. And if you want to pick the same answer, you can, but I thought you'd get a little bit more like analytical with it. But for me, it's going to be
You
just
thought
straight.
I was going to get analytical?
I don't know. Maybe you'd offer the analytical take and I'd play the good cop this time. But no, I'm thinking for sure it's got to be the amount of printable stuff he's gonna say, like the amount of stuff he's gonna say that could be printed on a t-shirt and sell like so many copies of, it's gonna be awesome. Um, and like I was saying before, I don't even think he tries to be funny, which makes him so much more funny. He's just he just all around his comedy. His accent is perfect. You couldn't ask for more of like a entertaining basketball player. So that's the thing. I agree with you. And I don't think there's going to be a year three of David Murkovich at Illinois because he's already on national radars. If he's not a Big Ten first team preseason player, I would be absolutely shocked. And I think you're right to say he'll probably finish as a first team Big Ten all Big Ten player by the end of the season too. But let's hear your take if it's not going to be analytical. What are you most excited for in David Murkovich year two at Illinois?
Well, I think just being able to run the offense through him and him being the number one guy and just seeing what he can do. Last year we gave Keaton the ball a lot, Kylan had the ball a lot, I mean, everybody kind of had the ball. But this year I really want to see what we can do with Merck and these different creative plays we can come up with. And I'm probably most excited just for the potential offensive Ken Palms, number one best team in the country of all time, best offense of all time. So I'll say that if we're going to go analytically, but yeah, I will agree with you. I think if we're going to get a whole season of the media like, Merc, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Whereas last year, like sleepers, they said the same thing. The media kind of caught on at the end of the year. But this next year, we'll have a whole season of Merck and everybody, right, with the camera in their face in the locker room and just crazy quotes. And they're going to want to Merck at every press conference now. So it's going to be really good for him. I mean, it was a great decision to come back to college because he's going to have one fun year, that's for sure.
It's going to be Merc madness, if I for lack of a better term, I suppose. But chugging right along here because the exact same day when Merck had that stream, it was later at a Coaches vs. Cancer event held in Gordyville, Illinois, that Brad Underwood was a host of, and usually he brings guests to that event. History has shown at least. And this season, his guests were the Illinois players from the Final Four team, which a lot of them came back to attend that event, which was cool. I mean, Mihailo Petrovic was there, Tony Bilic was there. There were players who weren't in attendance, but most notably at that event, we saw Tomislav Ivisic chug a Bud Light, announce that he's coming back to play for Illinois. Then Zvonimir said something along the likes of like, with that being said, I'm going to transfer to, nah, I'm just kidding. Let's run that shit back. So Zvonimir hit us with the quote tease right there as well. And then like an hour after the event had ended, no, I think Jake Davis in the same like moment also announced that he was coming back via the microphone. So all three players, they're now being dubbed the triplets because they're all represented by agent Mishko Reznatovich. And Jake Davis is now Jake Davich. So it's going to be a pretty awesome season just to have those three guys back as well. They're very entertaining players. There's more Jake Davis wig games, I'd imagine, in the future. And you got Big T and Big Z coming back. And with another season of Adam Fletcher under Big Z's belt, I see so much potential in his game. But I'll let you get analytical with this one as well. What are you most excited for all three of those guys coming back? It's basically the core of this Illini team. I know Z came off the bench, but like they're all very key contributors to this team in that Final Four run that they had last season.
Yeah, it's not Davich, it's Davisic. So
Davisic?
first
Oh,
off,
I had seen Davich, so
no, whoever's saying that's spreading false information.
Davisic.
Um,
I like Davisic.
But yeah, no, it's big. I mean, obviously it's huge, not just in terms of the team, but physically they're big guys. No, but Z and Tommy, especially, I think having those two back are such key contributors to the offense. And if they can just shoot the ball a little bit better, they're going to be dangerous, dangerous, man. Tommy, I was predicting that last year was going to be his year. It wasn't. I thought it was going to be his last year. He was going to show out. He didn't do too great. He's back. This is going to be his last year officially. Now I think this is actually going to be his year. So hopefully he can get his shooting under, you know, or above whatever 30%. I mean, he was at like 25% this year. It was not very good at all. Z, I just want to see a little bit more work in the post. I mean, Tommy, he really was able to get that post work down nicely, especially in the tournament. Watching the Iowa highlights, he was backing people down. He was really, having his way down there. And Z just has not been able to replicate that, unfortunately. And I like how Z shoots it if he can make it. That's the other thing too, is he hasn't been shooting it great. But if those guys can just get a little bit better, I mean, you're going to be talking about one of the best front courts in the country, maybe the best. And with Jake Davis coming back, whether he starts, whether he comes off the bench, whatever it may be, I mean, that's the guy. Brad always says it, vocal leader, right? Whatever that means. He's another funny guy though. He's got a good personality. He's, a great press conference interview, and I'm happy that he's back because he's one of those culture guys that if he leaves, it's like Ty Rodgers, him leaving really hurts. And maybe we can talk about that too, but it would have hurt seeing Jake Davis leave. So I'm happy that he's back.
Yeah, absolutely. And my thoughts on the Ivisic twins, and you alluded to it there for a second. I think after a whole summer of off season, I think maybe Tommy's game last year was a little focused too much on the 3-point shooting, and we're like, we're gonna make you a stretch five. We're gonna make you a center that can shoot the 3-point shot. I mean, he can do it obviously, but I think a summer of understanding what they do best might be a summer in which we see these players come out of, and they are then like both very good inside post presences. Because I think Brad's going to look at these guys and be like, hey, man, you're 7 foot tall. Like, there's not many players that are going to be able to stand up and defend you just in the post. And I know they're not the strongest, most athletic players we've ever seen, but like you said before, Thomas Love, especially at the end of the season, seemed to find that rhythm inside in the post, just like the baby hook shots that in the past, we've seen Nana Egwu make, we've seen Mike Tisdale make. If he can make his game more centered around that and then post passing to players who can make open 3-pointers, it's going to be a different Tomislav Ivisic. And I think if he can teach his brother a lesson as well, I like the fact that we've got Z though, because he's just such a dynamic defensive player. I think he was averaging 1.8 blocks per game. It might have been like the second most or third most in the Big Ten, and he wasn't even a starter. So having that inside post presence on defense is just as good as well. And then as far as Jake Davis goes, I think Jake Davis made arguably one of the smartest decisions, and I'm sure Mishko had a lot to do with it. But like Jake Davis could easily find himself a career in Europe after he graduates or after he plays his last season for Illinois, just becoming like a 3-and-D player. And with how well connected Mishko is as an agent in Europe, I'm not saying Jake Davis won't have a moment to play in the G League and maybe crack an NBA lineup, but if he's looking long term at this basketball thing, I think he's done what's absolutely best for himself in terms of longevity of a professional career. But any final thoughts on the triplets coming back before we get on to the Ty Rodgers news and then ultimately the Andre Stoyakovich news?
Well, I was telling Sonny, you look at Purdue, they would have Z or T start right now in their team. So
Hmm.
to have them both on our lineup, it's huge. And the fact that neither one of them are too stubborn to want to, give up their time. Look at Z. He'll probably be coming off the bench again. He could easily start on 97% of college basketball teams in the country. So the
Yeah,
fact that,
how many college basketball teams aren't starting a 7-2 center?
right. So
I'd
the
like a
fact that
number on
he's
that.
the fact that he's, loves his brother enough and they all just get along that much to where he's like, yeah, I'll do it again. I don't care. I think it shows that obviously he likes his teammates, but he thinks that he thinks that those guys can win a championship, truthfully. I mean, I don't think any of these guys would be coming back if they didn't think they could win it all. I mean, it's one thing to have a really, oh, we love each other, we're really good friends, but if you lose every game, relationships will eventually get soured and you'll want to leave. But the fact they all love each other and they're winning, I think that's what's bringing them all back, and it's huge. I mean, I would have liked to see Ty Rodgers come back because I think he's a culture guy too. But I think with him, it's like he's been sitting out for 2 years. He doesn't want to come back and play 7 minutes a game. So I understand why he did it, but just, super thrilled to have those three guys back. And like you said with Jake Davis, I mean, him having Misko as a agent now is fascinating, and it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do with Jake Davis. Maybe he can turn him into somewhat of a little bit of a celebrity, and maybe the NBA will want him.
We're gonna have to make an entire episode on just the vacation that Tomislav Zvonimir and Jake Davis are gonna make to Croatia in this offseason. I'm not guaranteeing it's gonna happen. I just don't see a possibility of them not all traveling to Croatia in the offseason and like having a little Euro summer. I know it was Kylan and Andre last year in Greece, but like come on now. Jake Davis needs a Croatian girlfriend, and Tommy and Z said they're going to make it happen. So, um, I think we're going to need an entire video when those Instagram posts come out. We're going to need
If
some.
anyone, if you guys want a fourth on that trip, I am available. I want a Croatian wife.
We can send you as our private investigator, like our paparazzi. But you make a really good point there. The most important thing to these guys is that they think they can be a winning basketball program, and what they're striving for now is to go beyond just making the Final Four. It's to make that national championship game and to be playing for a chance to win a national championship. And a lot of programs can't say that. A lot of programs have players where they're like, oh, this guy came here for the money. Obviously, he's getting paid a bag and he's going to go off and make the NBA next year. So he's making a lot of money right now while he can. Or some programs have guys that won't make the NBA next year, so they've come to that program because they can make a bag because of it. Not with this Illinois program. You look at these guys down the line, sure, they're making money, but like you said, you think Zvonimir is taking a bench role on this Illinois roster because he wants to make the NBA? No, it's because he's tasted winning. He's tasted victory. He's tasted a Final Four, and he's like, let's run this shit back, just like Andre said, and let's win it this time. So that worries me, and we'll talk about that down the line because history has shown that teams that have made Final Fours and then tried to make it back the next year with the same team or essentially the same core doesn't always go super well for you. Um, Purdue this year, but you're going to be playing with a target on your back. But we're going to have to talk about whether or not this team can muster having that target on their back. But I think they're certainly capable. But that's the biggest point I wanted to make. These guys are playing for a national championship. They're not playing to make the NBA. They're not playing to boost their draft stock. Yes, that's all going to be part of the context and part of the equation when you're playing for this Illinois men's basketball program because Brad Underwood has sent many players in the NBA, but it seems to me like the main thing in their heads is let's go win a national championship this time around. Moving right along once again, Thursday, the biggest news we got out of Thursday was Ty Rodgers. Like we said, he did announce he was transferring. That one did hurt a little bit because he did say multiple times, not like I'm holding it against Ty Rodgers or anything, but he did say multiple times to people who had just asked him on the street. There were confirmations that he said he was coming back for the next season, but a lot of things change. And honestly, I can't even hold this decision against him because it's just like you mentioned. Does Ty Rodgers really want to come play for this basketball team after 2 seasons of not playing and only have 7 minutes a game? He's got 2 more years of eligibility. He probably wants to prove himself at this level or at maybe a little bit lower of a level, and then come back next year and be a guy that either transfers and makes more money or just is the star on his team for a second season. Um, Love Ty Rodgers, always will love Ty Rodgers. I hope if he goes to a Big Ten program, he comes back for that Big Ten program, and it's the opposite of the Morez Johnson situation. We just give the guy a standing ovation. I think he deserves it. He was the definition of an everyday guy coming off of a redshirt season and then a season where he tore his patellar tendon and sat out and was nothing but an insane mentor to those younger players. Keaton Wagler, you saw him with his arm around him at the end of the game against UConn. So nothing but praises to sing for Ty Rodgers, and I wish him the best wherever he goes. But it is sad to see a glue guy like that leave your program. And especially a guy having lost Kylan. Ty Rodgers' best thing was being um, that low post, like off-screen dunker guy, and also a rebounding and defensive guy. So I thought there was an opportunity for him to kind of fill in Kylan's role since we're going to be losing him next year. But the fact of the matter is this Illinois team is so good that a guy like Ty Rodgers might not see the floor next year. And Ty Rodgers was an under 19 USA basketball player. Ty Rodgers was a top 100 recruit coming out of college or coming out of high school. So,
He
like I said,
started on the Terrence Shannon Elite Eight team.
he did. And that's saying something. To say a guy like that can't either crack your starting lineup or your top 6 or 7 players, like gosh, how good does Brad Underwood think this program's going to be next year? I know Brad said last year was his most talented team. I think without a doubt this one will be. But thoughts on Ty Rodgers leaving? Also, where do you think he ends up? A lot of people are saying Michigan State. He is from Saginaw, so I could see him being a Michigan State guy, but there is a lot of liability in Ty Rodgers because he hasn't played in 2 seasons of competitive basketball. And the last time we did see him play competitive basketball, he didn't have much of a jump shot. So I know Tom Izzo doesn't mind that. He started Cohen Carr every single game this season, but I don't think Ty Rodgers has the athleticism of Cohen Carr. So
Yeah, I think Michigan State's a good answer. I did see somebody comment. I think it was the Sleepers video where they talked about it. Like, what about DePaul? I'm like, yeah, what about DePaul? Like, why not? I mean, people are saying he needs to go down a level. I mean, that's basically what DePaul is. So, no, but in all seriousness, I think he can go anywhere, man. That's the thing. And it's like, he's a really good player. Thing with Illinois is they aim to have a top three offense every single year. So if you just go to it like a Houston, I mean, he could thrive under a Kelvin Sampson team. I mean, he's very gritty, just gives all of his effort all the time. I think Michigan State's a great guess. I mean, I'd love to see him at DePaul, but yeah, I mean, a team like, I mean, even just going to like a Big 12 team or an SEC team, I mean, maybe not necessarily one of the top teams, maybe even a ACC, maybe a Wake Forest or something like that. But wherever he goes, I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to get back into the rhythm, get back into the swing of things because he was out 2 years. I mean, you don't just come back and score 20 points a game. But I think eventually, and how cool would it be? Let's say he does go down a level, has a great season, and then comes back up to Illinois. That would be amazing, full circle. But no, wherever he goes, obviously, I think Illinois fans are going to wish him well. I don't, as long as he doesn't go to Michigan or Purdue, I think then we'll probably cheer for him.
yeah, he's definitely a player that I'll root for. I guess if he went to Michigan, I'd be a little heartbroken, but I think he was always more of a Michigan State guy anyways. Moving right along here again, because on Friday the Illini got more good news in terms of hashtag the retention, and it was Andre Stoyakovich, really the last key or the last piece in the puzzle that Illini fans were waiting on. I know at that Gordyville, Illinois Coaches vs. Cancer event, people were asking him if he was coming back, and he was very like moot on the whole situation. So people were like, "Oh gosh, it's looking a little scary about whether or not Andre is coming back." There was even the chant in which Tomislav was waving his arms up in the air when they were chanting Andre's name. He still didn't say anything. I think that was all just because he wanted his own little moment, and he had it on Friday when he announced in a video holding the newspaper of the Daily Illini that said, "What did it say? Is it Illini Final Four?" It was a Final Four newspaper. And he pulled it down. He had his sunglasses on. He pulled his sunglasses off. I was going to try and recreate it, but I don't have sunglasses here. Noah, do you want to do it for us? You basically have his hair, like you said so many times.
I don't have the newspaper though. I mean,
I know, just pull your sunglasses.
it was a pretty simple, I'm back.
No, you got to do it like him. I'm back.
I can never be him. I can
Yeah.
never be him.
Yeah, we couldn't be Andrei Stoyakovich. And I know Noah, when he saw that news, was absolutely blushing somewhere. He's excited for Andrei Stoyakovich being back. I'm excited for Andrei Stoyakovich being back. I think the entire Illini Nation is excited for Andrei Stoyakovich to come back. Um, I'll just ask you this right off the rip. People are not seeing, people are saying that they could see a year 2 Terrence Shannon Jr. transformation from Andrei Stojakovic in his second year at Illinois. Do you see that being possible? I like the comparison, they have a little bit different of games to me. Andre would need to develop a more consistent three-point shot for him to be at any level of Terrence Shannon Jr. But I do agree with the fact that Andre can get downhill whenever he wants and create a basket opportunity for himself. And in transition, he's very good as well, just like Terrence Shannon Jr. was. And he really excelled at that in his second season at Illinois. So are you thinking that we're going to get a second season Andre Stoyakovich, Terrence Shannon Jr. like season at Illinois?
No, I'm thinking it's gonna be more like a first year Blake Fagbemi situation.
Oh God.
No, no, but in all seriousness, Terrence Shannon was on another level. I think out of all due respect, I don't think Stojakovic is capable of that kind of explosiveness, that kind. I mean, yeah, Stojakovic can throw a dunk down, but I mean, t what Terrence
For
Shannon was doing, I mean, I'm seeing some of these
for I'm not gonna
Timberwolves
lie.
highlights.
For Andre, sorry to interrupt here, but for Andre to be on Terrence Shannon Sharon's for him to be on Terrence Shannon Jr.'s level of explosiveness and dunking ability, he would have to not miss like 15 wide open breakaway dunks
He
where he
misses more
got,
dunks than he makes.
I
Yeah.
swear to God, he missed more than he made this season. And you know what Terrence Shannon Jr. never did was miss a dunk. Maybe like one I can think of. But maybe that's the
Yeah.
jump we're talking about. He just makes more of his dunks, and we're seeing highlight reel plays from him every single night.
Well, and Terrence was super clutch. I mean, you give the ball to him and when the shot clock's about to expire, when the game's about to be over. But I mean, all we need from Andre is a little bit better three-point shooting, and I think you're solid. I mean, his defense was good. His cutting to the basket was great. His ability playing inside. I mean, everything was really, really solid from him except his three-point shooting. He just couldn't figure it out. So if he can get that figured out, I mean, he's going to be a top 15 NBA draft pick next season. I wouldn't be surprised at all, especially with his name, with his, status. Every NBA team's going to want him. So I think it was a really smart decision, and it says a lot about Illinois as a program for him to come back, because he was a guy that, he's transferring every year. He, can't be loyal to a team. He's just bouncing around until he gets to the NBA, and he came back. So I think it says a lot about Brad, a lot about the coaching staff. These guys want to play for Brad. They want to come back. Illinois is not just a program where it's like, oh, I guess I'll go play for Illinois. It's like you should feel honored to come play at Illinois because everybody loves to play here and wants to play here. And, you know, it should show a lot that not many people transfer out. Nobody, people don't want to leave. So, got to give credit to Brad and, super happy that Andre's back. I mean, I said it in the Locked on Illini video with Sonny Verma. I want Andre. I wanted him over Blackwell. I just, he's not going to be as big of a locker room problem. Everybody likes him. He's just happy to be there. I mean, he wants to win. So I'm super thrilled that Andre's back. And even if it shuts down the Blackwell conversations, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate his three-point shot isn't as good as we want it, but it's also more unfortunate that he doesn't have like a former NBA All-Star father who was really good at shooting the three-point shot to maybe help him learn that skill and learn that ability in the off season. It's really unfortunate he doesn't have that kind of thing. Maybe if his father was Peja Stojakovic, we'd be like, oh gosh, it's not like this guy can't learn a three-point shot in the off season. Oh wait, his dad is Peja Stojakovic. I think he'll be okay in that regard. If he isn't next season a better three-point shooter, I'll eat my words, but I think an off season of practicing. And what does Illinois have like that Atom system or whatever it was called, where it like measures how center of the rim your ball is when it goes through the net. Like Jake Davis was like 99th percentile in that stat for some reason. Um, but nonetheless, I think Andre will develop a three-point shot, and if he doesn't, he still adds a lot to this team.
He's 99th percentile because they're the only program that has the damn device.
That might be true. I think it's used by other NBA teams as well. Um, but what I'm most excited about for Andre coming back is exactly what Brad said is I think it was kind of Brad's pitch to Andre as well was, you know what, we had you last year and you were this incredible player, especially down the end of like at the end of the year down the stretch, but you were injured for like 7 games. You didn't play in like 6 or 7 games, and you were injured at the beginning of the season. Remember that. Like he didn't even get into practices because he had that knee issue, and then I think he had like an ankle issue. So if we get a whole season of Andrei Stoyakovich practicing, meshing with this team, these new guys that are coming in, holy crap, are we going to get the best version of him, I think. And then I also think that Stefan Vox is going to be huge to help him out, just because Andre's more of an off-ball, give him the ball, he'll create something kind of guy. And I think Stefan Vox is more of a Kasparis Yakachonis role kind of guy. And between the two of them, I think we're going to see some really dynamic playmaking, some really dynamic offense. But I'm thrilled that Andre decided to come back, and I think the women of Illini Nation are thrilled that he came back as well. Noah, I know you're thrilled. Um, I mean, it's going to be a really fun team next season to just think about. I think I saw a stat. This is only the third time in, I don't know, in the transfer portal era, I think it was, where a team has made the Final Four and they've returned like four of their six key players from the season before. And I could be misquoting that a little bit, but it hasn't happened very often where a team makes the Final Four and retains this many guys. And I think it's going to be a good thing for the program. I think it's going to be a good thing for the team next season. Um, that wasn't the only addition to the Illini roster that Illinois made on Friday. They also did add Wisconsin Mr. Basketball Xavier Zenz, a three-star recruit who was formerly committed to Northern Iowa, and then he reopened his commitment or reopened his recruitment. It was between Wisconsin, Illinois, and one other program. It might have been Northern Iowa, but Illinois won out that battle. Um, we will make a video highlighting all the freshmen coming next year because there's four of them at this point, or five of them. Five of them. Let me think. Murillo, Coleman. No, there's four of them. I'm sorry. No, there's five of them. Murillo, Coleman, Xavier Zenz, Landon
That's
Davis.
three.
No, there's five of them. Ethan Brown, Landon Davis, Murillo, Coleman, and Xavier Zenz. There's five freshmen coming in next year. So we'll make a video because there's five of them, and we'll kind of go through their games. I'm going to watch some highlight tapes of them over the next week. We'll discuss those players that will be additions to the Illinois roster next season. I think a few of them may redshirt, but I'm excited about all of them, actually. I think they all offer uh, pieces. They all have parts of their game that could be key pieces in the next year's team. So we will see how the roster turns over in the summer, which players will redshirt, which ones won't. But Noah, final thoughts on just hashtag the retention, because I don't think it could have gone any better than it did. Um, and I guess we can talk about Blackwell for a moment here because in the last hour or two, we are recording this Saturday night, April 18th. And then the last hour of two, I have seen reports that Blackwell is down to three schools and Illinois is not one of them. I think it's between UCLA, Duke, and Louisville now. I haven't been able to read those articles because I'm not buying an On3 subscription, but I don't know if he said that himself or it's just sources are saying. So I want to make the point before we end this video that I still think if Illinois is in contention in the Blackwell sweepstakes, if I'm Brad Underwood, I'm making the case that like John Blackwell, where else are you going where you have a better opportunity to win a national championship? And he said that when he left Wisconsin. Now things may have changed. Maybe he saw some money from other schools and was like, okay, I could get paid a bag. Like, screw the national championship. I'm making a ton of money before I go professional. But
John Bagwell.
John Bagwell, yeah. But I don't know. Like I just if his desire and intention is really to have the best opportunity to win a national championship in his final year of college basketball, I don't know where else you can put yourself. If you put John Blackwell on a roster, I don't know where else you can say like that team's going to be better than Illinois. And if you put John Blackwell on Illinois, I'm kind of like, who the hell is going to beat them? Now, I know there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. There'd be a lot of guards. Murillo, Coleman, Vox, Andre Stoyakovich, and John Blackwell, too. Plus David Murkovich probably playing some guard. But, like, I don't know. That just seems like the number one preseason roster and maybe
Well,
all
and
of
that's what
basketball
that's
history.
what Dusty May did last year with Michigan. Is he got more talent than he needed, and everyone was like, "Is it going to work out? Is everybody going to be happy?" And then they won a national championship. So there's an argument for it for sure. I mean, I don't even know if we necessarily have the NIL for it right now. I mean, maybe we can scrounge up the funds and get him, but
I don't think it's a matter of money. I mean, it might be if he really wants to get paid the most, but I think Illinois can compete like money wise. I think at this point, I don't know. So just to me, I keep reading reports that he might go to UCLA, and I'm like, really? You want Mick Cronin screaming at you on the sidelines like for the entire season?
dude, I hate Mick Cronin. I would never want to play for Mick Cronin. I think Louisville's got a really good chance of being a good team, and of course, Duke's always going to be a solid team no matter what. So either of those two programs, I mean, he'll be able to win. UCLA's stacked so far. I think they're going after a couple guys. They're always a big portal team, so it wouldn't surprise me if they snag a couple huge names. But I mean, it goes back to the chemistry. He's going to eat up minutes. He's going to throw off the locker room. It's just better not even to have it. It's like Murez last year. It's like, could we have kept Murez and maybe, done things a little bit differently offensively, done, not taken Z, whatever. Yeah, sure. But ultimately, it worked out for us and it worked out for Murez. So I don't think it's the end of the world if Blackwell goes somewhere else. It's not always meant to be. And it's like, oh, his dad played here. It's like, yeah, well, he should have came here from the beginning. It's like, I don't get why he didn't just come to Illinois to start, to be quite frank. So for that reason, I'm out.
Um, that's a good point. If he doesn't want to be on this Illinois roster, then obviously we shouldn't have him. Unless to me it's like unless it's like an absolute like I 100% want to be on this team. And the fact that he didn't commit after the Andre Stoyakovich like returning commitment kind of showed to me like all right, he had some hesitancy about that. So I'm agreeing with you in that sense like unless he's like 100% in on this Illini roster, like he probably shouldn't be here. Um but also, like, what a world we live in where Brad Underwood can look at John Blackwell and be like, you know what? If he doesn't want to come here, we don't need that guy.
He probably failed Brad Underwood's
I,
personality quiz that he gave him.
yeah, his AI personality quiz. So yeah, it is an interesting sweepstakes. It should end in the next week or so, or maybe I think he said May 4th might be his commitment date. Excuse me, commitment date. I know he's taking a visit to Louisville and then a visit to Duke after that. So it's looking less and less like he will be in an Illini uniform next year, but the point remains, if he doesn't want to be, it's like we're pretty loaded next year. I'm not necessarily sure we need you, and that's a great hand for Brad to be able to deal to be like, hey,
It's
look,
only April. It's April. I mean,
yeah,
think about the Euro guys that we got last year. We got them in like June and July. I mean,
yeah, hell, we might get Babasic Ivicic in August if we have another
if
roster spot.
Babasic Ivicic himself comes to life, he could very well be the number one pick of the draft.
It'll be pretty awesome to see. And it is funny because in a way it's like almost disappointing because it's like, gosh, we filled our roster so quickly for next season. We're not gonna have the whole off season of like commitments from David Murkovich and Mihailo Petrovic. Who is that? And then we
I'm
found
sure
out
we'll
it's
add
Mihailo Petrovic.
15 European players that never play a single minute like Tony Bilic and just are here for warm-ups.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if we have another roster spot, I'm confident Brad will fill it and he'll find a way to fill it that actually is meaningful and it won't just be like oh, we're just sticking this guy on the team because we have a roster spot open. I think it'll be a player that we're like either in for the future or we're like he can make an immediate contribution. But we will have an update for the freshmen. I did want to add the point that the last Mr. Wisconsin basketball that committed to Illinois was actually it was Brandon Pajemski, but the last one that played for Illinois was Marcus Damask. So when we get Mr. Wisconsin basketballs in history, at least, it's shown that they end up doing pretty well for us. So I'm very excited about Xavier Zen's game. So we'll have a video talking about his game. We'll talk about Quentin Coleman. We'll talk about Lucas Murillo, and then we'll talk about Landon Davis and Ethan Brown as well. Um, we will also have a DePaul video that we're recording tomorrow. They did add some transfers. I know we said, or if you watched the first DePaul video, Demon Time, that we're so eloquently calling it with Jonathan Monroe, we did add Magoon Guath, and we were breaking that news in the middle of the video. So we'll have a little bit more of an in-depth Magoon Guath breakdown. And then we'll also talk about their most recent addition. I think his name's Ade Papula.
It's
Ade
got poop in it. I know it's got poop in the name.
Yeah, I think it's Papala, or I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, but Ade Papala is what I'm going with for now. But we've got Poop and Gua or Goon.
Poop and goon.
It's gonna be great. DePaul is actually being talked about as a team that could realistically look at the NCAA tournament next season. I think it might be a little bit of
Mikhailo
over.
Petrovich to the pole.
Hey, I would like to see it, and maybe Ty Rogers too, like you said. So we'll have DePaul updates, we'll have Illinois updates, more videos to come in the future. The best part about the retention, hashtag the retention, is the fact that we can actually go to a Balkan restaurant in Chicago now, and it'll still mean something. It's not like we're doing it for the season before. It'll be like we still have all these Balkan guys. We've got the core five and Jake Davisic now. So
We're
rip.
always gonna have Balkan guys now that we got that Misko connection.
Yeah, and I was trying to on David's stream, I was trying to ask him what the best Balkan restaurant in Chicago was because he said there's good Balkan food in Chicago, and I was like, "What's? Tell me a restaurant. We want to go," but he didn't respond. And maybe he did in Montenegrin or Serbian or whatever Balkan language he speaks, but I couldn't understand him. So we will have more updates for you guys in the future. There's going to be a DePaul video coming out soon. Thank you guys for watching the DePaul video. I was surprised we got nearly 100 views on the first DePaul video, which was surprising to me because this is mostly a pro-Illinois crowd at the moment. But Noah and I and Monroe's goal by the end of the season is to unite the Illinois and DePaul basketball fan bases. I think Illinois fans should be rooting for DePaul as another in-state team. It's not like we play them every year like Northwestern, so screw Northwestern. We're DePaul fans, and then DePaul fans, I think you should get on the Illinois boat as well, just because it's fun to watch. And
And they win and they win.
and they win. So if you want to watch a winning basketball program, you can do that as well. But I mean, Chris Holtman's taken a little bit of a page out of Brad Underwood's playbook, and he's getting some European recruits as well. So um, it might be a little bit of Euro ball action in Chicago next year, which I'm very excited about at Wintrust Arena. So if you are
DePaul can be Illinois' G League team. So we take the guys like Petrovich who don't
Yeah,
work out at Illinois and we funnel them to DePaul and we let them build up there.
I like that. Magoon Guath to Illinois for his senior season.
Could be dangerous.
I think they should just be in cahoots about that. But yeah, I am wearing my DePaul hoodie. So thank you to DePaul fans who watched our first Demon Time video. That was really fun to get started. Also, if you guys haven't already, follow us on TikTok. Connor Blasmo is our TikTok guy. He's officially launched that. We will be posting shorts from our videos on TikTok. Connor's going to be making videos as well. He'll be making funny content. He'll be making informational content. It's going to be really cool to see what he can do with TikTok. And then we're getting our Twitter/X page started tomorrow. So if you guys are fans of using Twitter/X for live game updates, for comedic purposes, for whatever, if you just want to follow around, we will have a Illinois men's basketball Chillinois podcast X page up by tomorrow. So
Stay
follow us on
tuned.
Twitter,
Stay
follow us on
tuned for
TikTok.
the Chillinois OnlyFans account coming soon.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Patreon. I was gonna be more mad about that. No, if you want to get the OnlyFans started, Noah, you're welcome to do that, but I will not be partaking in that one. So if you guys want to see a Illinois Chillinois podcast, OnlyFans of
It'll
Noah,
just be AI pictures of me.
it'll just yeah, the swole AI photos of yourself. Anyways, yeah, leave a comment if you want to see that. But got a lot of things in the works for you guys. It'll be a fun off season. A lot of ideas, a lot of collaborations we're in talks about right now. So, also once again, if you haven't seen the video that Noah's on for Locked On Illini with Sonny Verma, shout out to Sonny for letting us go on his podcast and talk Illinois basketball. We'll hopefully have him on as a guest as well. We respect him. We love what he does. So go watch his page, Locked On Illini, and also talk Illini if you haven't already. Shout out Sonny Verma. Other than that, Noah, I think we did a pretty good job of recapping the last week of Illinois basketball news. So I'm going to end it like I always do. ILL.
I and I.